Okay, welcome everyone. We're back with season 3 of the Negozju podcast. For those of you who have been following for a while, after exploring the Maltese startup community and linking up with Malta's most talented entrepreneurs, we're now going global and exploring a space that I am extremely passionate about. Over the past year, I've been serving digital nomads applying to the Nomad visa for Malta and businesses that are looking to leave their mark inside of the decentraland. Throughout this time, it's become obvious that NFTs and crypto are revolutionizing the tools that are available to digital nomads. Today here with us, we have Lars. Lars was a semi-pro footballer in the Netherlands, UK, and USA. After that, he jumped into entrepreneurship and adopted the nomad lifestyle. He created his own framework for startups where he believes that sales marketing founders linked together with a strong dev team is the right formula to move mountains. Through his time, through his incubator, he's helped tens, if not hundreds, of people go from idea to reality. Today, he's going to be discussing his upcoming project, VacayShares, 1 week vacations for life. So, welcome, Lars.
Thank you for having me, Luca. I really appreciate you taking the time to kind of set this up and having this discussion about remote work and NFTs.
Yeah, that's it. So we spoke about it briefly once before, and today we're just going to be sharing with everyone what you're working on. So tell us about VacayShares.
Yeah, so about 3.5 months ago, I dove into NFTs because Gary V explained kind of in a way how NFTs can be used for like events in the real world and subscription models. And it kind of got me into thinking, okay, how can I link this decentralized NFT world with real-time assets? And that's kind of when I got into like the old timeshare concept of like when you would buy a week and for life of vacation or for a month of vacation, and maybe 10 or 20 other people did that together with you. But now with the smart contracts on the blockchain, we have the ability to automate some of these processes. And I found that with the community building and the different elements that are really necessary to make something like this happen, I felt there's a perfect combination to combine like the old timeshare concept with NFTs to make it very like legitimate and very community driven. So I kind of started to dive into, okay, how can we make this a reality? So looking for places, like getting feedback from people to see if they would want to invest in something like this, because it is also kind of a new way of investing. It's not just a vacation that you're buying like on Airbnb. You actually have the ability to resell that vacation because it's a lifetime week. Like maybe you stay there for the first 2 years, and then in the third year you decide to sell it for the price that you bought it for or more, so that you actually made a profit, both in the sense of like, okay, I'm diving for the first time into crypto. It might be the perfect entry point because you actually can understand what you're buying into. So there's going to be like, in my perception of this concept, there's going to be 3 types of people. You're going to have the people that are going to buy one and hype it up themselves to be able to sell it for more than they bought it from right away and never stay there for a vacation. You're going to have the people that are going to stay there for the rest of their life, pass it on to their family, and never leave that place because they like it. And you're going to have the people that are going to use it for a few years. Then they think, okay, it's maybe time because I see the value increasing to sell it at a later point. So it becomes almost like between stock, currency, like foreign exchange, like all these different types of investments, like, and real estate just on its own. Like you're creating a new way of investing that is kind of a hybrid. And it's living in the new way of like a decentralized world, what makes it very unique. And I think also like very excited to dive into it and to let people maybe taste crypto for the first time because they can link it to a concept that they can understand. So that's kind of how I would like to like kind of explain it to people.
There must be a bit of education that goes into also helping people to understand the whole ecosystem. And I think Gary V has proved that's a very important step for the community side of things, is bringing new people in and getting them on board with this whole NFT and crypto environment. So where actually is VacayShares going to be starting from, and what does it look like? What's the timeline? What does the timeline look like from here?
So it's kind of a sneak preview because I have not announced to anyone or on any of the platforms where the first location is going to be. But I am happy to announce that the first location has been purchased. So the property has been purchased, and from there we will basically do all the paperwork. Like this actually just happened like this week. So for me, like I'm in the process of getting that all sorted out and then making sure that the property is in order, like just the last background checks before like I make like the final announcement and start sharing content about the place. And but it's going to be in Bansko, Bulgaria, what is a ski resort in the winter. It's in the mountains near the Pirin Mountains. It's like a very, very popular place in the winter times, but it's becoming a lot more popular in the off season as well, due to the many remote workers that come here because of all the co-working spaces, the co-living spaces that are being facilitated here. So it's a really unique energy and a really like very remote driven place that has the access to the mountain and the skiing and the mountain biking and all the nature things that you would like. So I think it's an ideal location. 15 already for the upcoming season. So that comes to the next point. Like I believe that the NFT auction is going to go live mid-October. So we're going to be working on all the content. We're going to be in Twitter Spaces. We're going to be on Instagram Lives. We're going to do IGTVs to educate people and to really get them ready for it. Because I think that because there's only 15, I think they're going to go fast. And I want to be able to have everyone have at least the understanding of what it is that they're buying themselves into and what the community will be able to do for them, like kind of for a lifetime, as long as they own the NFT.
So if I buy one of these NFTs, what do I actually get in return? What's the utility?
So yes, it is. That's funny that you mentioned the word utility, because there is a really big discussion around utility NFTs versus security NFTs, because obviously security NFTs need to be like, is actually like not much different from what an Airbnb is doing, in the sense of you're just getting a week stay and we're just recurring, like we're making that a recurring theme that the next year you come back the same week. So there is consistency in it and you own the rights of that week. So you have the ability to resell that week and then give those rights to someone else. So it's like, yeah, how do I explain like getting into it? I think for people it's going to be like a one-time investment that represents that right of ownership in that particular week, and then having recurring payments every year to basically keep the place at the highest possible standard, making sure that the repairs happening, that maintenance things are all done. And that will actually make it that you have a choice, right? If you're seeing it as an investment and you don't want to go on vacation, you do not have to pay that fee. It's only for the people that actually want to go there. So year one is free, no maintenance fee. The purchase that you did will actually generate a smart lock code that you can then check in with. And then from that moment forward, you would have to generate a new smart lock code for every year following. But if you don't want to generate it, you don't have to, if you see it more as an investment. So I let everything to be a choice. Like I want people to know that they're buying the rights to a week, but they don't have to use the week if they don't like see it as that type of investment. But for the people that love skiing, that could be a great thing where you just want to go every week. And if you do that for 10 years, you easily get your value out of it for what you're initially putting in. So that's kind of how I like to approach this. It's like, it's a choice. It's like, however you see fit for this, you can do it. And what I also want to tie into it is that any future remote events that we set up when the community grows, they will all be accessible for all NFT holders. So, for example, if we would do an event somewhere in a location and people have the availability to go to it, they have free access, where then probably in the form of an NFT, we might like at a later point like sell NFT access event tickets. But for as of right now, those are all like future perks that I will be announcing in the community. But I believe the rights to that 1 week is already a very valuable asset on its own, because you have the ability to resell it or to use it yourself. So I think that sums up kind of where the roadmap is in the at least the first place. And from the first place, we're going to also, this is a mountain place, we'll also be announcing a city place, and afterwards also a beach place. So they are not finalized yet. So after the first one is a success, then we will announce what's coming next. But I think for now, this is the most I can say.
And if I'm an owner of one of the 15 NFTs, can I kind of sublease it or give it away to in a competition just for that 1 week?
Yes, that's a good point. I think that there's no limitations in what you can do with the week. So you could give it to friends. You can do it as a giveaway every year. So that for businesses, it might be a really good investment too. Like they want to give a 1 week vacation in the mountains away. You might get 200-300 followers from it by just utilizing your investment, and that has a value of its own too. So yeah, that's a good point. I think that yes, they can use it however they see fit, but if someone stays in your week and something happens, there is house rules. So for example, if like people are smoking in the place or they're throwing parties in the place, like we would have a smart home in a sense that we would be able to know this, and you get a first warning. Like we're not like, okay, you did this, you're instantly out. No, we will give you a warning, and from there, if you do it twice, or the guest that you're letting stay there in your week, they do it twice, then you obviously have the risk of losing your NFT, because we could take it as collateral if there was damage or there was like too much hassle going into that week. Then we have the ability to do that. But obviously, we're a community. We don't want to do that. There's always I'm always open to speaking about it, making sure that it's okay. But that is the only consequence of letting someone else stay there and not having the control.
That's it. You're still the owner of that week, so you're still liable in that sense. Cool. And when it comes to new locations, are those new NFTs, or is the NFT that you buy originally valid in different places?
So those will be 15 to 25 new NFTs. So I'm thinking depending on how long the season is in this place. So the skiing season is 15 weeks, but a summer season might be 20 weeks. So whatever amount of weeks fall into that season, that's how many NFTs will be given out. And they're all based on weeks. So if you have week 1, for example, you would actually get whatever week 1 is of that year, Monday to Monday. So you check in on Monday at 4 p.m. and you check out the next week on Monday at 11 a.m. and it will be always the same for any NFT. So there's a lot of parallels, but yes, you would need to buy a new NFT if you go for, let's say, a city place or a beach place.
As you mentioned, like Bansko, there's the ski season, which is very popular, a good reason to visit. But there's also the nomad community in the summer. Is there an option to go outside of the main season, or is it limited to particular weeks?
So I wanted to really highlight the in season, when it's a really good place to be, when you can do the activities that the place is known for. But obviously, if you like it in that week, you might have the ability to tap into other things and see if there's maybe an opportunity for yourself to do certain things. And in the future, we're actually probably will roll out a concept where people can do it on their own. They can create their own VacayShares and maybe buy a property and do similar things that what I have done. And that might be in the future a really good thing, because you would sell ski NFTs and you could actually be in Bansko the rest of the year if you would like. So it's like I am showing the way, and hopefully people have the ability to do the same at a later stage when we build the framework around this.
Okay, so if I've got a villa here in Malta and I want to NFT my house, I could leave the island for the summer season, have other people here, and then come back during the winter and still enjoy my property. And that would be built on your kind of on your VacayShare model.
Yes, you would be able to get a smart contract and all kinds of elements that you need to be able to manage it when you're not there. So we're going to create kind of that location independent lifestyle for people that see this as a really good investment, because in the sense of a business perspective, you have the ability to make the initial investment that you're putting into a property back in pretty much no time by utilizing NFTs. And that's why I want to prove that it works myself, so that everyone has the ability to use my blueprint or framework to be able to make that financial decision themselves and have the ability to also utilize staying there when the off season is. Because to some people, the off season is actually nicer than the in season. So the in season creates value, but the off season is like when it's underrated most of the time. Like I think that Bansko is a place like that, where in the off season it's actually nicer than most people know. And that's the same thing. And probably you have the same feeling with Malta. Like if you're tied to a place and you believe in a place, I think that this will work. And we need to just find those remote hotspots that fit best, and then create the framework and blueprint around that, and get the local partners to help you in that. And that's all down the line. But for now, it's all up to me to do the crawling, to be able to stand up at a later point and show it to how it's done. That's kind of what I'm hoping to accomplish here.
That's it. You want to prove the model before you roll it out to people to actually take the risk themselves. Cool. Is there anything about VacayShares that maybe I haven't mentioned or you'd like to mention?
I mean, I think it's like taking the power in your own hands. You control your wallet, you control your investments, you control what vacations you like to go on. Like, I think that a mental health element is definitely a component into this. Like, if you feel like you're stuck in America, or you're stuck in the UK, or you're stuck in the Netherlands, and you want to get out and empower, the lifestyle that you want to live, you can do it. And I think that VacayShares is your access ticket to be able to tap into that world. And then from there, if it all succeeds the way that we are envisioning it, then it is something that you can do yourself. And that, I think, is the most powerful thing about this, that I think that everyone needs to know about, that this is a possibility. No matter where you are, no matter what your income levels are, you have the ability to take that life into your own hands. I think that's the vision and the why I do this.
That's it. I mean, throughout your years, you've worked on a number of different things. What kind of challenges have you faced? Or kind of what questions have you answered for yourself throughout your journey?
Yeah, I mean, I think as a professional athlete, you get a lot of criticism. It's a very tough world, a very competitive world, and you need to be ready to deal with it, and to when you get a beating, that you can get back up. And I think that failings is like what most good entrepreneurs would say, is that those are the ways to be able to learn. And I've started businesses and they have failed, and it's about looking at what were those failures, and if the next time around it will be in the same situation, what would you do different, and would you do something different? And if you don't know why you wouldn't do it differently, find other people to help you in those areas, because alone is always difficult. You need to ask for help. I think that's the biggest thing that I learned, is you have to ask for help where you need it. Like, even if you can't afford it, by just sharing your passion about something, and understanding that other people love helping you, if you can find a way to help them back. I think win-win situations, asking for help, learning from your mistakes, and kind of having projects and just putting them out there. Obviously, the VacayShare concept, it kind of blew up 2 weeks ago when I posted it and everyone started hearing about it. And I was like, I was just announcing the Instagram, and now I have a property and everything flies because I get invited into all these things and people want to know when it's coming out. And things accelerate when you push something into the world. So that's my advice, and maybe also my story is just, I live by this motto of like, you already have a no and you can get a yes. So for example, if you, I gotta put it in like a context, you can put it in context of business or dating, it does not matter. You can walk up to, you can stand in the corner looking at a girl that you think is cute and you want to say something, but you actually keep standing there and don't actually say anything. Well, guess what? You have a no at that moment. Or I could go up and try, and if she rejects you, then it's still a no. Like, nothing has changed, but you might have the chance on a yes. And that is the key in life, is just putting something out there, trying something, and being okay with the rejection if it happens. I think that's probably how I would put my lessons that I've learned along the way, that I would other people to encourage to always be eager, always keep learning, always listen to what people have to say. Even if you don't agree with it, listen, see how it can apply in some way and where they're coming from. it's all about being open and being kind of that adaptable person, not the person that is stuck in the ways and being in the bubble. So that's what I want to share. And
the one thing I love about doing this kind of podcast is that you get advice thrown at you just from having a chat, and I think I really thank you. I really thank you for that. You've mentioned the hard parts. You've mentioned how you need to try, and there could be a no. But what about the yeses? What about some maybe success that you've had? Like what have been your best moments?
Yeah, no, I think that's a really good question. I mean, I think I have a story about. So I wanted to go back to the US, and the only way I could go back to the US a few years ago was to like do a study program. So I was going to do my MBA, and I had to do a GMAT, and the GMAT is a tough test when you are more of like a people's person and you're really good at like the test itself is pretty hard. Like it's not easy to pass it to be able to be allowed into a school. So I actually thought it was a smart idea to meet the person, like the person that is in charge of admission in person. So I actually got a tourist visa to go and to meet this person specifically for that reason. And I explained my story, and I didn't take the test yet. I just explained I want to do this, and she said, "Okay, you have to take the test. Everything else you have sorted out. You're good." So I took the test, and it went terrible. And you had the chance at the end. Okay, are you going to submit it? If you submit it, you have a chance to be enrolled. If you don't submit it, you have to take it again. But I didn't have enough time to take it again because I wanted to go. So I submitted it. Then you get the score, and I failed. And I sent her an email, and I said, I'm so sorry. I didn't get the score, and I don't have enough time to apply. So I have to apply to different schools because I didn't get the score. And she said, I think your story and the fact that you came in person and you did all these things made me believe that you will be a great fit for the program. I'm going to put in a vote with the faculty, explain your story, and see if life that came from just doing the right thing, trying and putting yourself out there. And I probably have probably 50 other examples, but I think this was a really great one that probably a lot of people can relate to, that maybe are pursuing something that is like bigger than themselves. Like I think that this is a great example of that.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I hope that some young people in the audience do hear that story and feel motivated to try in creative ways. Cool. All right, Lars. Before we end off here, just like to tell you thank you again. I'm looking forward to visiting Bansko now in September. And thank you very much again for joining us.
Yeah, no, thank you for having me. I really enjoyed it, and I think there's many more good conversations that you're gonna have in your podcast with a bunch of interesting people. So I'm excited for that, and like whenever the time comes, like if people want to follow the journey, like the Twitter Spaces is where I will be living most of the time. I'm almost all of the NFT ones speaking about the vision of VacayShares and collaborating with other artists, musicians, and things. So if you want to follow me on Twitter, it's the handle is Lars NFT. So people could follow me, and then from there, you will actually be able to see when I'm in spaces, and just join in when you get the notification, and listen for yourself what the space is going towards.
For sure, Lars NFT and Twitter. I'm going to start exploring Twitter Spaces a bit more on your recommendation. There's a lot of value in those places that I think I need to get some juice out of it. Okay.
All right, sounds good. Well, I hope you a good rest of your day. Like obviously we're not in the same place. We're doing this in a creative way, but hopefully in the future I can come to Malta and we can do one in person. That would be cool.
Yes. It's a lot more. I prefer in person a lot more, but Zoom is powerful. You can reach anyone around the world, so at least I'll be thankful for that. Thank you again. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.